So I'm hearing that there's two urgent messages that someone needs to hear for the month of November. So you may resonate with the first message, you may resonate with the second message, or both, okay? So let's look into the first message. What does Spirit really need you to know for the month of November? We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Hanged Man. So you could be in a pause right now. You could be feeling anxious or uncertain of the future in some kind of way. But I'm really feeling as though there's positive new beginnings, okay? So there could be an ending of an old version of yourself, like with the skeleton here. It's like a death and a rebirth. You could be in some sort of spiritual pause. This is a metamorphosis, a rebirth into a much higher version of yourself, or things are being reworked, rearranged. It could involve like community. I'm seeing like a lot of people around you. For some of you it could involve like your job or family. There's hope here, okay, a lot of hope, and you're moving on to like a timeline. You're moving into a timeline of much more positive outcomes. There's going to be a shift in your mindset as well. Like you could have been very anxious and you're worrying about things. You may be filled with like that energy of hopelessness, or you know, the feelings of the anxieties. I see like these energies that are like terrorizing you. It's like a very heavy, very fearful sort of energy, and you could feel really enveloped in that, and kind of you could have been lost in that. You could currently, with you know, subconsciously be lost in that. But this is a message from Spirit to say, don't be too identified with the story of what's going on in your life, or the story that's going on in your mind, like fear of the future or thinking worst case scenarios in some sort of ways, because there's definitely immense improvement, or everything is happening for your highest good, or the highest good of everyone involved. Like everything is working out for the highest good, okay, is the message that someone really needs to hear. Nine of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like when the time is right, there's rapid movement. The time could be right as soon as you like change your mindset or snap out of like getting so lost in that downward spiral of like negative thinking or thinking worst case scenario. It's like for someone, as soon as you snap out of that, as soon as you become aware of the divine surrounding you, as soon as you become aware of that deep inner knowing that everything is happening for your highest good and everyone's highest good involved, it's going to change your vibration. You're going to feel much more optimistic, and this is like rapid change, rapid progress. The Eight of Wands, things moving into place much more quickly, and it's very positive with the Nine of Pentacles. This is like, with all of these people here, it's like working harmoniously. So harmony coming in, reassurance, you know, knowing everything's going to be okay. This is about abundance. This is about firm foundations, stability, security, happiness, and again, harmony, okay? Hang in there. We just had the Hanged Man. Hang in there. Things are going to change for the better, okay? You may be going through some sort of uncomfortable stages, like in between stages, or there's some sort of progress or positive outcome that's coming in. This is about enlightenment as well. So again, hand things over to the divine. If you've been stressing, worrying about something a lot, try and remember to hand it over to the divine. Know that everything will be okay. And this is things happening behind the scenes that you may not consciously understand why certain things are happening, but it's all to get everything in alignment for the highest good of all. So hang in there. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We are so proud of you. Spirit really needs you to know this, okay? They're very proud of you. Yeah, blessings pouring in. This is that Nine of Pentacles energy. This is abundance. This is so much positivity, happiness, feeling joyous, a huge sigh of relief. You receiving everything you need. And I feel like a lot of it is to do with that comfort, that knowing that everything is going to be okay. You need to know that. And this is what you're moving into. And you're seeing positive results or positive solutions to any problems or difficulties. Dark shadows. This is very much about, you could have some immense fears or anxieties within you, and this is a time where there's an opportunity for you to really observe what are your fears, what are these fears related to, what are they about, how are they a reflection of some deep inner shadows within you. That, like, there's some sort of wisdom here. There's an opportunity for you to have some sort of breakthrough in terms of some sort of wisdom coming in. That's going to be like some sort of epiphany, or something that you're going to become aware of, something you may need to work on to release yourself from some sort of limiting belief or some sort of fear that's been paralyzing to you. I mean, this may be an ongoing fear or anxiety, but there's an opportunity for you to really examine this or get to the core of this and make long-lasting change. And that change is to do with your vibration, opening your mind, or trusting the divine, handing things over to the divine, knowing everything is going to be okay. And then that optimism in itself is going to weave so much positivity into outcomes, into your daily life. It's going to make you feel more harmonious and secure, so it could have a knock-on effect and make situations with others more harmonious. Let's look at some other cards. What do you need to know from Spirit? Yeah, look, Six of Swords. This is moving out of the anxiety into a brighter future. The mice is all about this shadow, these fears that have been a very subconscious thing. They've really been eating away from you. It's draining your energy. I'm seeing, like, imagine a bucket full of water, and that water is your energy. And these mice have chewed a hole in the bucket. It's like you can't remain energized because it's all leaking out of you because of your anxieties. And you're trying to create some sort of wholesome experience. You're trying to feel secure, but your energies are completely draining out of you because of some subconscious fear that's really been triggering up recently. So there's this need to address this at the core. You know, what is this fear? What is draining you? What is making you feel insecure? And therefore perhaps even acting out those insecurities in your day-to-day life, which is sort of exasperating the situations that you're wanting to change. You're needing to come from a place of security and inner knowing, and knowing everything will be okay. So if you ask for this, you know, if you ask the divine, maybe you don't know how to feel secure. If you pray to the divine or just ask for the divine and hand things over, then solutions will come in. The right people, the right information, the right experiences will be sent your way, okay, to help you have the solutions to this situation so that you can feel more secure and change your vibration and change the situation for the positive, because the Six of Swords is all about moving out of adversity or anxieties into a positive future, which is much more harmonious as well. we have the Five of Pentacles. So you may be called to go through like an uncomfortable in-between stage, to be anchored into the light, to be anchored into the new beginning. So you may have to travel through the uncomfortableness of looking at your inner shadows, looking at your fears, you know, to determine what this is about, to get to the core of the issue here and weed it out or dissolve that or just shed light on it. Sometimes all we need is, you know, to become consciously aware. And then those fears that were in the shadows that feel so great can be massively diminished just through looking at them clearly, shining a light on them and realizing they're not as big and scary as we thought they were. So, you know, the Five of Pentacles, it's about going through the uncomfortable stages of looking within, but then the next card would be the Six of Pentacles, which is, again, you receiving everything that you need from the divine to come into a place of wholeness and brightness, and coming out of this state of feeling a sense of lack, or, you know, you basically receiving everything that you need to overcome this challenge. We have the Four of Pentacles and the dog. So the dog to me is very, very positive energies. This is, again, harmony, peace, unconditional love, optimism. I imagine the dog wagging its tail. This is love. So Four of Pentacles. It's like you're holding on too tightly. There could be some sort of fear of loss, or some sort of fears could make you become quite micromanaging or trying to control situations a bit too much, because you fear, you may have this fear that if you don't hold everything together, then things will fall apart or something like that. And it's like, you're coming from a place of fear. You may be holding on too tightly or micromanaging too much, or that controlling sort of energy. But if you surrender to the divine, if you are open and receptive to receiving the solutions that the divine will present to you, then you can loosen your grip. You don't have to be so controlling. You can come from a place of faith and security, and this will make you act in more like optimal ways. So things become more harmonious. We have the Knight of Swords and the Shepherd, again with the dog here as well. So this is the light, the dawn after the darkest night. Knight of Swords is determination. You can do it, okay? This is encouragement from the divine. You can do it. Hand it over to the divine, and then solutions will pour in. This is indicating that you always have everyone's highest good in mind, and this is why they're so proud of you, okay? You're always wanting the best for yourself and for everyone. And you're, again, with the Shepherd here, it's like you're trying to steer people or the situation into safety or some sort of harmony. This is you being some sort of nurturing soul, or you are in some sort of leadership role. In a circumstance that could involve a lot of people, you're in some sort of leadership role. But again, it's like solutions are coming in. You loosen in your grip, but because you're replacing it with faith, with optimism, with the energy of like the divine moving through you, and this is going to help you create much more harmony. As you create harmony within yourself, the situation externally is going to become more harmonious as well. So let's look at a dice. Let's roll a dice, and this can be a sign, because there's going to be an image on the dice. This could be a sign that Spirit is going to send you over the next few days, just to let you know that they are right there with you. So what sign will they send you over the next few days? We have, I see this as a mermaid or a siren or Medusa, okay? So you could see something in mythology about this. This could be a sign for you, okay? So I'm going to move on to the second message. So what is the second urgent message from Spirit that someone needs to hear for November? We have the Wheel of Fortune. There's some sort of cycle that's on repeat. It did sort of flip upside down. So this is someone's feeling all over the place, okay? This person's tied to this wheel, it's spinning, and there's like these daggers like being thrown at him. So you could feel out of control, okay? You could feel as though you have no control. He's holding on to this four-leaf clover. It's like someone could desperately be wanting to just feel stable. You want your feet to feel firm on the ground again. You want to feel a sense of certainty and like your foundation is stable. You want to feel like you're in control again. So this is like terrifying energy that someone could be feeling, okay? Like you could be feeling like you have no control whatsoever and you're tied into some sort of circumstances that feel terrible, that are creating so much fear within you. And you could be fearful of worst case scenarios. In reverse, it's like bad luck. You could be going through a lot of adversity right now. You could be going through a lot of things. A lot of things could be happening and you feel as though it's like a whirlwind, a chaotic energy. You're very, very uncertain of the future, fearful of the future, and you just want to be put back down. You want your feet firmly on the ground. So what does Spirit have to say about this? What is your urgent message? What do you need to know? Yeah, you're fearing loss. 5 of Cups. It normally shows 3 cups spilt over. In this case, it's like a bucket. It's very interesting because I mentioned the bucket in the first message as well, and the water leaking out of that. So the 5 of Cups is all about the illusion, though. Certain things are being lost. You're definitely going through a powerful divine shake-up. Everything is happening for a higher purpose, though. It is happening for a good reason, even if you really, really can't see it right now. Even if you feel as though you're going through like the darkest times of your life, things are being released. But there's a bucket here that's standing upright. It's normally 2 of Cups that's still standing upright, okay? This is definitely a divine shake-up that you're going through to release things that don't serve you. And you could be forced to find security within because you feel no sense of safety or security in your external life. So this is happening and it's sort of forcing you massively out of comfort zone to find faith within, to find security within when you can't see it anywhere you look on the outside, okay? So this is definitely about you thinking worst case scenarios, fearing that everything is lost, but really it's only things that aren't serving you that are falling away in your life. And it could very much be the fear as well as falling away. Not right now, you know, if you're in a lot of fear, that is still going to be present for a while, but it's like overall you're being forced to face your biggest fears. Like I said, when you feel like there's no security externally, you're forced to create that security within through faith, through inner knowing, through breaking through your fearful mind and connecting to your infinite soul, connecting to your higher self, connecting to the divine and knowing that you are held, you're protected, everything is happening for your highest good. Someone really, really needs to know that, okay? Because it's the hardest thing to see or to realize. When you're spinning, this could be your head spinning, this could be a lot of chaos going on in your life. But I'm telling you, it is for things that don't serve you to be left in the past, and you eventually will be able to turn around and realize that this bucket is still full. This is your new path, your new beginning, a much more advanced version of yourself, a stronger version of yourself, a more courageous version of yourself. Your life is completely changing. It feels like the foundation, like the rug has been pulled from beneath your feet. But it's so that when the time is right, you will be rebuilding in your life this new beginning that is much more in alignment with who you really are. And I'm telling you, a lot of fears that have subconsciously held you back your whole life are being removed through this as well. You finding the courage within, you finding that strength, that resilience within. So old previous fears that have plagued you your whole life, or anxieties, are falling away because you're facing your fears head on. Okay. Four of Cups. I feel like you're very traumatized by this. This is like a very you're trying to self-soothe. I feel like there are people who love you, okay? There are people that are supporting you, but I see you as vacant, like in terms of mentally, like in your mind, you're elsewhere, okay? People could be trying to cheer you up. People could be supporting you. It's the Four, okay? They want to create stability with the warm hot chocolate here. It's like they want to warm your soul. They, you know, it's like they've given you this scarf here. They want to support you. They want to help you. The divine, even the divine here is right here with you at all times, okay? There's people who understand. But yeah, you're traumatized. It's like you're absent. Even if you're physically there, your mind is like racing with these fears. So you could be having these fears in these moments, and you can't like fully be present with these others because you're still traumatized and you're still trying to figure out a way to get out of this situation, or find solutions, or, you know, end all of this suffering and this chaos. But you are coming out of this, okay? This is only a temporary thing. This too shall pass. I'm like seeing in my head a card deck that says this too shall pass. Ace of Swords. This is very positive, okay? I'm seeing this like the Hanged Man as well, this bat upside down. So you're really being held within this energy of immense uncertainty, okay? You're spinning on this wheel, your mind is reeling. A lot of rumination as well, ruminating. And this is all to be expected, okay? Because you're going through an immense divine shake-up, a very traumatic experience. But the Ace of Swords is a breakthrough. It's truth, clarity coming in. This is the hand of the divine, bringing you courage, creating some sort of breakthrough. There's clarity coming in within your mind, okay? Because you've been thinking so much, because you're trying to find solutions. You're trying to find this breakthrough. You're trying to find this answer. And this is it coming in, okay? There's people who understand, okay? There's people who deeply love you and want to support you through this. This is empowerment. You're coming into empowerment as well. Some sort of breakthrough in your mind, because you've been feeling chaotic and out of control because of all of these fears. But you're coming into clarity, some sort of breakthrough in your mind that is going to be the solution, that is going to make you feel safe, a lot more safer, a lot more secure, and you're going to be able to keep returning to that, keep anchoring yourself into that, and this is going to really help you move out of this adversity into this very positive new beginning where you're much more resilient, much more secure, and it's from within. As within, so without. It's like as you transition within, as you become very strong and stable within, and knowing you're an indestructible soul and believing that everything is happening for your highest good, as you really anchor yourself into that firm belief, and you may need to keep practicing that, it will change your vibration, and then the external will reflect that. The external will change to reflect that stability within, and you'll be moving out of these problems. The Seven of Wands, yeah. This is the energy traditionally of these fears trying to knock you off your feet. This adversity, for some of you, it can involve karmic people or toxic people trying to knock you off your feet. You're being bombarded with chaotic energy. Again, it is all this divine purpose of a divine shake-up to really, it's like dramatically getting you onto your highest path. It's dramatically crumbling anything that doesn't serve you. But again, this is really coinciding well with this Ace of Wands. Ace of Swords. It's like you may have to continue, once you find some sort of solution, once you find that inner belief, once you start believing that the divine is helping you, you're protected, everything is happening for a reason. Yes, the fears will keep coming up. The fears will keep rising up. But if you stay strong in continuing to return to that belief, then you will genuinely start to believe it more and more and more. And then it's like a positive knock-on effect. And like I said, you're rewiring your mind to really believe in that. And then it becomes your reality because you've changed your vibration, and then the universe has to mirror it back to you. So this is how you're finding that control when you're feeling out of control. You're changing your beliefs, you're changing your mindset to believe in the best possible outcomes, and then you're creating that. And this is how you are coming back into stability. You're coming out of alignment with the fearful vibration that's allowing this to keep circulating in your life. You're moving out of that into that brighter future, and that is becoming your reality. Yeah, look at the bottom of the deck. Nine of Swords, all of this anxiety, but the sun is rising. You need to hold on to this. You need to believe in this. Look, Spirit is right there with you. You can't see clearly because of the anxieties, but this is what this breakthrough of the Ace of Swords is, you being able to see more clearly and focus on the light at the end of the tunnel. Know everything's happening for your highest good, and then that will unfold. So let's look at some of these messages cards. What does Spirit need you to know right now? The ground is crumbling beneath my feet. I'm telling you, this is what you've been experiencing. It's just a divine shake-up. It could be very dramatic, okay? But it is for your highest good. There's a lot of things, and it could be subconsciously. You've maybe suffered with so much anxiety, and it's really held you back. It's really been paralyzing to you. You may know about this, but it's even on degrees which are subconscious. You've been held back for so long. And the divine needs you to proceed on your path because you deserve so much better than to be so limited by your anxieties. So the ground is crumbling. It may be you're being pushed out of a comfort zone. You may have subconsciously been avoiding anything that makes this anxiety worse, but it's subconsciously just kept you in anxiety for years or for decades. So it's like you're being pushed out of your comfort zone, so you have to face your fears and anxieties head on. And then that is allowing you to know that you can handle anything, you can overcome anything. And it's going to make you so much more resilient. It's going to make you so much more able to face your fears and not be fearful. Like I said, a lot of things that create fear or anxiety within you, it's going to be a past thing. Those things are moving into the past because you're going to know you can handle anything after this intense situation, and you coming out the other side 10 times stronger. Your thoughts are taking over. So yeah, a lot of this spinning in circles and anxieties, it's like blinding your judgment because your thoughts, thinking worst case scenarios, has been taking over. So let positive thoughts take over now. Even if to begin with, as you consciously choose to think positively, to begin with, it's going to feel like a lie. It's going to feel like these positive outcomes are impossible, and you're going to have these surges of fear, like, because you're daring to step out of the comfort zone, you're daring to believe. There will be stages of this surge of fears coming up and you thinking, oh, it's all hopeless, why am I being stupid, and thinking positively. But that is just the old version of you falling away, okay? The ego, it rears up because it's wanting your mind to fall back into its old patterns, the old conditioned mind. But you are rewiring your mind. So if you persist, if you continue to believe, if you continue, because this is, like I said, normally the person trying to stay afloat when these negative thoughts are trying to knock them off their feet. If you persist, if you continue to believe and focus on this light at the end of the tunnel that's coming in now, eventually it's rewiring your mind, and it becomes so much more easier to fully believe in that. And then it builds to a place where it's beyond just a belief, it's an inner knowing. And when you've anchored that inner knowing within you, again, the outside must reflect it back to you. And this is when you're rapidly going to see so many positive changes coming in, solutions coming in, synchronicities. So let your mind take over with positivity now. We have, look, you are completely changing. The divine shake-up, it's a metamorphosis, okay? Sometimes we can get so identified with the story in our mind of, oh, this is all happening for the worst reasons possible. There's no hope. These are the destructive thoughts taking over. But you are an infinite being. Try and rise up out of circumstances, situations, and connect. This is all happening for you to come out the other side having grounded yourself, anchored yourself into your infinite being. Be the infinite higher self, observing everything that's going on, observing your thoughts, and realize you are that infinite being. This is all happening to make you much more anchored into your infinite being, and coming out of the false self, the highly conditioned, fearful thinking false self, into the inner knowing of your infinite being. I can see the truth. Wow. And this is beneath the Ace of Swords, the breakthrough, the clarity. I'm telling you, in November, everything's going to change for the positive, because there's a massive breakthrough in terms of you seeing the truth. This is you coming out of being so identified with the thoughts, the mind. You are not the mind, you're the infinite soul that can observe your thoughts and your mind. So this is going to be a huge lesson in the grand scheme of things, of you also pulling yourself out of this idea that you are the mind. You're not going to be the leaf that's blown around in the wind. You're taking control now. You're observing your mind and knowing you are an infinite being. And you're also a master manifester, like you create your reality by what you choose to think. It's like you've been caught up and unable to think of anything other than these fears, but you're coming out of that, and you're going to be able to choose what you think and what you believe until it becomes your reality. And it does require persistence. It's you rewiring your mind, as within so without. We have, behind the scenes, everything is happening to get you onto this higher path, because you deserve liberation. You deserve freedom from these anxieties that have plagued you your whole life. You deserve to have a much better life, a much more peaceful, happier. You deserve to feel much more confident within yourself and secure, and knowing you create that, knowing you are the master of your life and your circumstances, okay? So this is what you're powerfully moving into. So I'm gonna roll another dice, and the image on the dice is going to be a sign. You could see this image over the next few days from Spirit. It's a sign from Spirit to confirm to you or remind you that they are there for you. They're always walking hand in hand with you and guiding you. This is a huge metamorphosis that you're going through for very positive reasons. So what is the image or sign or symbol that they're going to show you over the next few days? We have this here. if it's going to focus. I see this as a few things. I see this as like a ring. A ring, you know, I can't remember what they're called, where you can change the size of it through bending it. I also see this as like a tiara or a crown. So you could see an image like this. So if you've appreciated this reading, please consider buying me a hot chocolate by leaving a super thanks comment below. All donations are humbly appreciated. Thank you to everyone who's already donated and sent a super thanks in the comments. It really does mean a lot to me. If this reading has resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. That all really helps me out with the algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me here. Take care. Bye.